The UN climate talks in Scotland ended with a global agreement, but not without some last-minute back-and-forth negotiations, as India and China raised objections to a certain part of the agreement regarding fossil fuels. Other coal-dependent developing nations also echoed these concerns. The pushback from the two led to the change and reframing of the pact. China and India insisted that the language on fossil fuels be weakened in the final draft to accommodate the needs of all the nations. After which the clause on coal was hurriedly amended and countries were asked to accelerate their efforts towards a coal power phase down instead of phase out. India defended its stance by saying that countries with little historic responsibility for climate change have the right to their fair share of carbon budget. India says the revision was needed to reflect the national circumstances of emerging economies.
Minister, is this deal a failure though? Does this last-minute amendment mean that countries have been let down?
It is accepted by all countries.
Accepted, but not very happy.
Minister, do you feel India has made the world a more dangerous place by your intervention?
Nothing at all. India is committed for green energy.
But you're continuing to uphold the production of coal. Science says that's incompatible with the climate. It's science, it's not politics.
It is according to the Paris Agreement.
I wish we'd been able to retain the language that was originally there. Nevertheless, we do have language on coal. We have language on phasing down of unabated coal. And I think very many people will welcome the fact that that at least has been achieved.
Coal is the single biggest source of greenhouse gas emissions and was a subject of repeated discussion among delegates since the onset of the summit. Participants have been trying to negotiate a deal since 2 weeks to bring up a pact to initiate significant cuts in energy emissions and to limit the temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. This development comes as China continues to ramp up its coal production in a bid to manage its growing power crisis. According to the Chinese news agency, the country last Wednesday produced more coal than ever before on a single day. This recently agreed Glasgow deal is the first ever climate pact to explicitly cut coal usage. The deal also presses for more urgent emission cuts and promises more money for developing countries. However, experts say that the COP26 pledges don't go far enough to limit temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius, and more stringent measures are needed to combat the emerging environment catastrophe. But a start has now been made.
Coal and the phase down of coal is on the books. It's part of the decision. And you have to phase down coal before you can, quote, end coal.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.